I would really like to acknowledge the vibes and the energy that is there in Women Economic Forum. And I saw Mansi for the first time in Delhi, and I was in love with her charm then, and it's still the same.
Woo! Thank you. Only 2 more sessions to go. We all have to go. But not till we make this an absolute, utmost celebration of our beings, right? I'm sad that this is going to be over soon, so I'm going to throw myself out there. Are you joining me? Yes! Let's throw it out. We're talking about reclaiming our connections and our networks as our net worths. Yes? What is the most potent currency? It is your sphere of influence. That is everyone that upholds the space you're around. We've been having this conversation a lot. We're going to turn the spotlight on full intensity on this one in this session as I welcome Suzanne Skillen, coming from Sydney, with an inspiring story. This lady, you'll find out moments from now, is resplendent inside out. And I feel blessed that we had the opportunity to share space with you over the past 48 hours. Thank you, Suzanne. Please take a seat. SP Vardharajan, welcoming Mr. SP Vardharajan, the Managing Director of PSY Group of Companies and Institutions, someone who comes with decades of experience in business. Shweta Agarwal, welcoming the lovely Shweta, co-founder and event manager of the Conscious Market, welcoming you. Mehti Prida, please welcome this absolutely radiant woman coming all the way from Mexico City, Mexico. A TV and radio host and an author of much repute. It's an honor to finally have you on the stage. Sorry, it took me a moment because Tamil names are not my area of expertise yet. Work with me. Break it up. R. Tiruchelvi. Where are you though? Welcoming R. Tiruchelvi, an academician, associate professor at the Wells Institute of Science. It's a privilege to have this educationalist, this professor amongst us. Welcome. If I could have Suzanne before I get Suzanne to speak with us about networking and its values, I'd like to call on one more speaker, Biju Nair Sudarshan, Chairman of the Vikasa Group of Schools, and also, I'm assuming, a favorite amongst the ladies. Suzanne, I welcome you once again. Over to you. Woo!
Wow. How to follow that last panel Gratitude is one of my favorite things. I must say it about it. I must say thank you thousands of times every day for everything. So it kind of fits in quite well with what I'm going to talk about. But you can read my bio and you think, oh, she's got it all together. Successful, traveled around the world, built businesses. Yeah, looks like it's all together, doesn't it? Would you like to know the story behind the glory?
Yes.
So 3 times in my life, I have had the lesson of losing absolutely everything. And the last time was in 2010 with my partner Paul, who you've all met. I think he makes such a big impact everywhere he goes. It was one of those years, which I know many of us in this room have had, when absolutely everything went wrong. It was a disaster. We had loss of dear ones that was shocking. We lost our home. We lost our business. We lost absolutely all our money and more, went into huge debt. We were living in Indonesia, in Jakarta, and we actually thought that we'd made it. You should never do that. We were successful. We had a really big network marketing business and with a massive team. And one day we went to the office in Jakarta and it wasn't there anymore. It had actually gone, which meant that the following week there was no money coming in. It had literally been closed down. America had closed it down without telling us. Now the interesting thing is, the more money you make, the more you give away. So we had an orphanage in Bali. I had a child I'd been supporting from Tibet. We had a lot of charities going on, and that was our first thought. What are we going to do? We have no money. So we sold up the little things we had. We came back to Australia. We never stopped saying thank you, that's for sure. And when we came back to Australia, our friends who know, love, and trust us gathered around us. That's the thing with networking. You build it from people who know, love, and trust you. So we searched for another network marketing company that had the same values as ours. We found one that we really liked its vision statement. We really liked its values. And we told our friends that we were joining this company and we'd love them to come because we were going to go to the top. There was no doubt about that. You know when you just know you're going to go to the top of something? It's like, we're going to go to the top and we'd love you to come with us. So many of our friends thought we had lost our minds completely. There was something wrong with us. Maybe we were having an actual emotional breakdown and tried to protect us from what was happening. But a few friends joined us. So we said we would look after those friends. Obviously, we were going to make them successful. And then we created a community of people because we kept talking to people about what we were doing. We wanted to help people with their financial health and their wealth. We wanted to help people get really healthy physically as well. But you can't be healthy, as I found out, when you're not wealthy or you don't have any money. Because you can't help anybody else. We couldn't even help ourselves that Christmas. We had no money for Christmas presents for our family. And that's a really big thing. You know, for grandparents not to be able to give presents to your grandchildren, to your children. I actually had to borrow $2,000 from my daughter, which was humiliating because I'd always been this mum bringing up my children. I was really proud of what I'd achieved, and it was humiliating having to borrow $2,000. So we started. We just had this, we put blinkers on really and binoculars so we could see where we were going, and we started talking to people. We started sharing our vision. We started talking to people how we wanted to get them incredibly healthy, and we wanted them to become wealthy so they could give back more. It was not about greed. With us, it's always about contributing more. Remember, we had the orphanage to support as well. So we started doing that, and the way we did it was by trust. People were trusting us. And often there were people from networks who knew us, from other people. It's interesting from a network point of view, what actually happens. We all have networks, don't we? But now what's actually happening, you know, before it used to be 6 degrees of separation. I was talking to this to Jolene last night. Now it's 1 degree of separation. We are all so interconnected. We're creating this amazing community. And like attracts like. You become almost like a little magnet. Paul always says people started dropping out of the sky in front of us. It wasn't quite like that. But somebody would introduce us to somebody, and they'd say they would want to join our company. Somebody else would say, I don't want to join, but I have a friend who would be really interested in what you're doing. And so it happened. We had 12 really amazing leaders. 2 of them were my really good friends. One of them I had taught Pilates to for like 13 years, and she kept saying to me, you guys should be on your knees. I don't understand why you look so vibrant, you're so excited, how are you doing it when you have nothing? And whatever you're on, I want it, and I want 3 of them. That was the start, that's how it began. So that was so exciting for me. And then my next door neighbor, who knew me really well, said, I'm joining to support you. So we built this network, and the things that I really find with building a network are people, as I said, need to know, like, and trust you. You love on them. You teach them every single thing you know. I always say, it's like a bird with a nest. Come into my nest, sit in my nest, I will teach you everything until you can fly away. The nest will still be there, but you'll learn everything I've got. It's not like I keep some secret recipe. There's no secret. We give everything to everybody. We edify people. And in Australia, people aren't very good at edifying. And you have the queen of edification right here in front of you. Mamta, oh, my goodness, I've never heard, I thought I was good. I've never heard the queen of edification like this. Unbelievable. But doesn't it make you feel good? When she speaks to you, you feel elevated, you feel amazing. So these are the things we teach in our community. We teach people to use good language, to elevate people, to make them feel that they are expansive rather than contracted. And this is quite unusual in Australia, because in Australia we have something called the tall poppy syndrome. You know poppies? So as soon as you get a little bit too tall, they cut you down. Or in England, we actually say she's got too big for her boots. So it's all about cutting you down. So we ignored all that, and we started to teach our little community to edify each other, to celebrate each other, to be each other's champions, to always be there for each other. And because we were vulnerable, we had opened up our hearts. People saw that we had lost everything financially. We hadn't lost everything emotionally, because we still had each other and we still had our health. But people saw where we were financially. And they knew there was a vulnerability about us. And they started opening out their stories. We found out their whys. We listened to them. You know, we actually built our business by listening people into our business. That's why we're given 2 ears and 1 mouth. So the 2 ears are for the listening, the 1 mouth is actually to keep it closed. And you listen, and people give you clues about their lives. You'll hear maybe they want to get their children to private school, they want their children to study in university in Australia, somewhere, you know, that's expensive, go overseas, have an overseas holiday, all these things. So you're listening people into the business, helping them. And I'm so grateful now that we have this network of 12 people that were our leaders, has actually gone to, I think at this point it's about 99,000 people. And it's just from building a community that people want to belong to. They want to be part of our community. They were on the same page with our values. We're on the same page with our dreams. Every single one of my leaders, I know exactly the names of their husbands, their children, their animals, and I know their hopes and their dreams and their big why they are doing what they're doing. So the one thing I didn't see when I built this network with Paul was, you know, I saw we were going to go to the top of the mountain, you heard. I just had this real belief that we had gone down for a reason, to build again and to help people. I'm listening. So I knew we would be wealthy. I knew we would be successful. I knew we would help a lot of people. 99,000 people, that's a lot of people. I couldn't do that when I was a Pilates practitioner, that's for sure. But what I didn't see was the friendships. The friendships in so many different countries. Wherever we go, we are welcomed, like we've been welcomed here. It's been amazing. So I just want to close with one thing. At the end of 2019, there was a study done in Australia, and it was done around people when they were dying. And it was about their regrets. There were 3 big regrets. The first regret was that they hadn't cared more about their friends and family. They hadn't kept in connection with them, they hadn't kept in relationship with them, they hadn't seen them enough, and they hadn't loved them enough. The second regret was that they hadn't done all the adventures they wanted to do. The world was still there waiting for them, and they hadn't done things. And I actually saw my brother do that when he was passing away. It's like, I've still got so much more to do. So don't wait. And the third regret was don't listen to people, which we've already heard today, when they tell you you can't do something, because you can. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Suzanne, for helping us reclaim networking in saying no. I don't need, but also in helping us go to a place of expansion, evolution, and gratitude. So powerful. Thank you. I'd like to call upon our next speaker, Mr. S.P. Vardharajan, a businessman of many, many years. Welcoming you.
Thanks to World Economic Forum. Oh, sorry. Okay. Women Economic Forum. Fomra and Sonal made me come here. Indeed, I am just going to just deliver a small speech I gave it for a bunch of startups with the topic, don't chase money, chase value. I find both the topics can be mixed up or interlinked. Because in today's world, women or men, it's all same, right? So I told a story about my family. I was born to a father who lost his father in Burma at the age of 9. And my mother's family lost all their properties in Burma and came to India at the age of 12 with nothing in hand. And my father went on to Malaysia. Today, today saying that he washed tea glasses is a little bit difficult because Modi has been branded for it. So my father did that at the age of 11 in Malaysia. And from there on, he went working hard. And at the age of 17, he started his business. And today in Malaysia, 450 Tamilians are working for us. And we have a scrap metal business and departmental stores. In Malaysia, our turnover is around 200 crores. And in India, we have educational institutions, engineering college, school, B.Ed college, arts and science, all been started in the rural area where my father was denied education as a giving back to the society. More than this, in Malaysia, Chinese were predominantly doing scrap business during 1950s, 60s. Then during 70s, 80s, a section of people from Karaikudi region, and they started taking over. And my father was the only person from Ramanathapuram district, very downtrodden or no water kind of region. And from my company, nearly 30 plus scrap business people are born. They still say Balamurugan is the parent company. Because we have a unique system by which my father identifies somebody who is very dedicated, because out of 100 plus people at that time, only 1 or 2 will be working for 20 hours or 18 hours. If you say there is no security, he will be sleeping there. If you say there is no driver, he will be driving it. If there is some carpentry work happens, he will be there. So he will identify such kind of persons, and he will take them and call them and say, are you interested in doing business? They'll say yes. Then he'll say, I give you the seed money. You go buy the materials and give back to me. And this process will go on for 3 years. And from 4th year onwards, he will reduce selling it to us and he will be selling it to other people. And from 5th to 10th year, he will become a competitor for us. Like that, we have created 25 odd competitors for us. And to be proud, there are 3 people whose net worth is 5 times, 10 times bigger than us, who have cleaned our toilets, who have taken care of our dogs, who have slept on the gate as a security guards. They would have been sleeping only for 4 hours or 5 hours. So hard-working persons. But they were chasing money like anything, because I know at the age of 17, 19, 20, with their family situation, with the entire environment saying money is everything, they have got into a situation or a habit or a character that money is everything. So they were chasing money. And they have become 5 times, or even one guy is 10 times bigger than us, net worth. After earning, people of 2 types are there. Either they start giving back to the society, or started asking the society to give more recognition. The persons who chase money is the second type. They always look for society to give more to them, more recognition to them. The first type is personalities who go in for value, like my father, because we were creating a lot of entrepreneurs, as well as we have almost given a lot of villages with bore wells for water. We have given a lot of cows for families. So one day I understood that network is better than net worth, because I was going in for a function as a guest, and the other guy who is 10 times bigger than us, who worked with us, was also coming with me. And I definitely know he is bigger than us in money. But when we both entered, the entire organizers were giving the full celebration to me, and this guy was not able to stand that, because he knows we are not that big in money. Today, in 3 districts, if I drive my car, which is having Pasamalar written on top, and number 10 is all our vehicles comes with number 10, I have so many of people, even if I wait outside, almost 5-10 vehicles will stop and will ask, is there any problem? This doesn't happen to him. And one day, I was checking myself. Okay, for a week, I'm going to live without money. Let me see how many of them are going to humiliate me. And to my surprise, I was more honored that 1 week that many of our employees, students, they were saying, sir, it was honor for us to spend for you. I told them, no, I don't have money. Sir, it's okay. It's privilege for us. And these guys who were chasing more money, they feel even with this 10 times net worth, they are not satisfied with life. they are still searching for life because their life, they can never ever search, identify their life because they are going in a wrong direction very fast. So to the startups, I have told the story that anytime you go for values, values or networking, both same. Networking is not just like sharing cards or something like that. Really giving each other and giving the feeling that they are really networked to the core. So I hope women here would create a lot of values around, and the value networks will come back. Even it can help me. So with that, I congratulate Women Economic Forum for coming up with such a wonderful event, and thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
It's no wonder that the Confederation of Indian Industries conferred upon you the award of 101 most influential entrepreneurs in India. In the world? Most successful entrepreneurs. Successful and influential. Thank you so much for that wonderful, insightful sharing. I'd like to invite Shweta Agarwal to take us through her journey of the conscious market. You tell me.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Happy Republic's Day to all of you, and good evening. And I'm so happy to be a part of this WEF at Madurai. Thank you to Harbeen. Thank you to Mamta. Thank you to Mansi. It's been a just 1 minute. Sorry about that. She was just recording what I was speaking. I have no prepared speech, and I'm just going to talk what I feel. So, all of you use Facebook. Do all of you use Facebook? Can I ask you all, do you all use Facebook? Yes. So, even I use Facebook. And in 24 hours, how many of you all have got how many friend requests? Can I ask you from yesterday till today, how many friend requests have you all got? 10. You've got 10? Oh, that's superb. I have competition. You've got 22? Oh, yes, very good. More numbers coming in. Do you? Entire gathering on Facebook. Yes. So I would like to share my experiences about my networking. My networking is all about social media networking. That is Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. So these are the 3 platforms that I network basically. So today and yesterday, what I have learned is a lot. I mean, I can say I've learned from Mansi, I've learned from each and every person in every way today. It's a huge learning from me. I would like to share my story. I was married when I was 19 years old, and I did not have the fortune to complete my graduation and then get married. After my marriage, I had to fight and put my foot down that I want to complete my graduation. So ultimately, my husband and my father-in-law and father helped me out, and I completed my graduation. Thereon, I started helping small projects into marketing. I helped my cousins, I helped my family members. So I did small projects because I was basically a housewife then. First of all, I'm very proud to be a homemaker because that's the first thing that I've done, and I am happy that I'm a good homemaker. And secondly, then I moved on, and I started organizing small events for women entrepreneurs who work from home. When it comes to money, they have very little money to support themselves, or they have small savings of 5,000 or 10,000 or something like that. So they have the zeal to do something. Like even I had a huge passion and ignite that I should do something of my own when I grow up. So I helped them and I started building up on Facebook. 2013 was when I launched my page on Facebook called Amaltas, and from there has been no looking back, and my social networking is basically my net worth today. I am here in 2020 because of my social media networking on Facebook and Instagram. I am also a plus size blogger, influencer from Chennai. I think all of you know that about me because yesterday I gave a speech on body shaming, and I basically influence people on self-love, body positivity, and stop body shaming. Because all through my life, I was body shamed and judged by almost everyone, and sometimes even by my own parents or my family members. But I had to fight back, and I accepted it, and I always say that self-love comes first. If you love yourself, you can reach wherever you can. And today, I'm very proud to stand here. Thank you for the great opportunity, and that's it.
That's not it. That's everything. Thank you, Shweta. Thank you. If I could welcome the lovely Mighty Prida to take us on a journey to a faraway land through her story. Absolutely. 18th?
Yes, 18th time to India. Yes, I love it.
A true ambassador of India.
And I was telling them earlier today, this is my 18th trip to India, and this is the first time that they actually rejected my visa when I asked for the visa. And I go, really? It is the first time that I asked for the visa from Mexico because I recently moved to Mexico City. So they asked me to go to the embassy. I had to talk to the ambassador, which I was thinking, oh, maybe he's going to invite me to a nice dinner. No. He actually had me sign a piece of paper saying that I was not coming as a journalist or a television host to India, but as a tourist. So I lied a little bit. I said, yes, I'm going as a tourist. And I'm thinking, like, why do I get to sign this paper today? And he goes like, well, it's too many trips. You have dual citizenships. I don't know, something looks suspicious. And I said, what if I tell you that I'm looking for a husband in India? Which I am not, by the way. Well, you never know. You never know. I keep my options open. So anyways, I'm going to get serious now. Let's go to the topic that just came about. Not that I don't like husbands. I had 2 already.
By the way, she's so humble. I want to share with you, she is listed among the 20 most powerful Latinas in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So anyways, I want to share with you, I want to share this story about myself because it is really true how your net worth is so important because that's where you are really worth or it's worth it. I was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2001. At the time I was 38. So if you know how to add up quickly, you know how old I am today. Anyways, when I was diagnosed, they told me that I had 3 months to live because it was a very advanced stage. At the time, I was just happily divorced from my second husband, but my children were 6 and 7 years old. They depended on me economically to be at home, as a mom, as a caretaker. And I kept thinking, when the doctor gave me the diagnosis, I was thinking, first of all, I was like, that's impossible. At 38, I was hosting a television show. I was wearing shorts because in the US and Mexico, you do wear shorts on television if you are hosting that kind of shows, like for the family and stuff like that. And I was thin, and my hair was long, and I was thinking, wow, I look so beautiful. How can I have cancer? So then I said, because that has nothing to do with beauty, because you have cancer. I kept trying to negotiate with God, please, I hope the doctor made a mistake and is giving me the diagnosis from somebody else. But then I'm thinking, like, why me? Why me? 2 days I cried like crazy, thinking, what am I going to do if I die? Who's going to take care of my children? Because I was thinking that nobody was going to be capable of raising my children the way I would be capable of doing it. That's the selfish woman in all of us. And finally, I decided to transfer the question from why me to for what reason do I get it? And when I started changing the question, I went from being a victim of like, poor me, oh my gosh, this is what's happening to me, to this is why. Because I have a voice, because I have the power to talk to a lot of Latinas or Hispanic people living in the US, and because I can become an example. And when you are faced with that kind of situation, you do that. You become a victim, or you decide to bring out the goddess, the feminine energy, the divine feminine that we all have inside of us, all of us, men and women, and then we decide to fight. And we fight with courage, and we fight with dignity. And something that is very important is that you learn so many lessons in the process, but those lessons are so valuable and stay with you forever. First of all, and I want to tell you, you cannot be ashamed of your body, because we are goddesses and we are women, and men need to learn to love us and respect us the way we are, because it doesn't matter if you are size 2 or 22. If your heart is 22, it's better than if it's a 2. And in my country, we have a saying that says that the bones, meaning they're really skinny, without offending anybody, I didn't see that skinny here. The bones are for the dogs, and the meat is for the master. So what do you want to be? You know what I'm saying? And when your body changes, it changes with age, and it's just a natural process. It changes throughout time, and it's a natural process. If you go under the surgery, and they have to remove half of your boob, so now you know that I don't have half of my boob, my right boob, just in case you wonder. And then you start, I lost to the second battle with cancer, half of my lung. With my third battle with cancer, half of my kidney, and I lost my feminine reproductive system. So I look beautiful naked, like, I have scars everywhere, but I still am beautiful. And you know what I do? I look in the mirror every day and I said, I am a goddess. Because I truly believe that I am a goddess. And I do not want to say like, oh my gosh, this lady, she's crazy. No, I want everybody to wake up every morning and look at yourself in the mirror, because usually women, especially women, in the mornings we get up, we look at ourselves in the mirror. Oh my God, I gained 2 pounds. Oh my God, look at my eyes. Oh my Lord, look at the bags I have today. Oh my God. And that didn't happen overnight. But one day we decide to beat us all up in the mornings. And what happens? You go to work thinking, feeling fat, feeling with bags, feeling insecure. No. Every day we need to get up in the morning, look at ourselves in the mirror, and before we do anything else, and without criticizing us, look at ourselves and say, oh my God, I am a goddess. I want everybody to repeat today, right now, I am a goddess. Again, I am a goddess. You too. You too. Really loud. I am a goddess. I am a goddess. And I want you to do it every morning, because when you do it every day, you start believing it yourself. And what happens when you walk into a room? You project the energy of a goddess. And it does not matter what size or what body shape you have, because goddesses are goddesses. And we are in a time right now in where we are transforming the energy of the world, because we're starting to live and to move far away from the patriarchal system and going back into the goddess system. That's why we're all together here. And thank you very much, India. I love India, and I love you all. Thank you.
And I have a feeling India loves you back. Yes? Yes. Thank you for sharing your magnificent story of coming back to your magnificent self. Thank you, Mehti. If I could welcome our next speaker, R. Thiruchelvi, an academician, a professor from the Wells Institute of Science, coming from Chennai, welcoming you.
Good evening, one and all present here. So I want to make my point clear in a short time. The thing is, thank God for giving me the opportunity for standing here, and I thank my parents who brought this stage to make use of it and to deliver a speech in a particular topic. So first thing I want to proudly say that I'm from a farmer family background. So our main source is agriculture. So I like to proudly highlight that we are from agriculture, that means a farmer family. So wherever I go, I want to mention it and I want to highlight it. So the thing is, the topic is your network is your net worth. I want to highlight this with the short thing of what's happening in, what make me to talk this topic. The thing is, in our family, no one is educated. So my father taught me, we are 3 daughters for my father. So my father taught me education, it's a must because no one in our family got educated. So my father tried this education, try their life changes. Because in future, no one is assured who is going to be with them if anything is get wrong or goes wrong. So my father thought like that, and he gave the education to all the 3 of daughters, and we studied in a matriculation because in that day studying in a matriculation is big thing, because now like a CBSE, in that days matriculation is a big thing. So he gave us education. And another thing, as all you know, whatever my father told, I say yes. So that is the thing I followed. In my marriage life also, I say yes, whomever he choose. So I don't think about that equal qualification or something else to be there, because in a life there is an understanding. It's not about the educations or degree that matters. So I think it in that way, and I say yes, whomever my father chooses. And that changed my destiny, and to my bad luck, as Angela ma'am told now, what she faces, the same thing I faces for 7 years due to he's a more alcohol addict, and we couldn't make it change. We try all the ways, that is by joining in a de-addiction center or whatever. We tried everything and we failed to change the thing. So that is what I lost 7 years of thing. But due to in that losses also, I want to shift that negative things into my career. I focused fully on my career. I didn't bother about what's going on there, because to say openly, it is new for me to see such alcohol addiction abusing, because I get torture both physically and mentally. It is new for me to see such a things in my life where I didn't came across anywhere, and because I hear it as a story, I read it in the newspaper like that. But I don't know that going to be in my life. So I got both physically and mentally abused by them. So I try to change that negative into a positive thing. I fully focused on my career. And I want to mention here clearly what I am here, that is the uniqueness and the thirst in updating the knowledge in me. I came to learn from my mentor, that is my uncle, my mother's own brother. He is a handicap. He is attacked by a polio from which he born. So he give all the guidance how to be and what to be like that. He, from the childhood itself, he teaches me the lesson. Everyone, everyone will study, everyone will have their talent in their uniqueness. But the thing is, wherever I go, I will present it in a different way. That thing I learned from my uncle. So this is the great time I want to share that I get it from him. So he teach me everything to be uniqueness, so that we can get highlighted in wherever we go. Even though writing in exams by highlighting a proverb from another book like that in 2 marks like that, time management, everything I got learned from my uncle. So that is what I'm here. I'm proud to be in this stage. And also I get my father guidance, because without him I'm not here. So that is one thing. So due to that distraction, that is what I get it. No? Due to that network I had, that network changes my life. Since I didn't even, in the UG, I didn't even talk to the boys, because that is a co-ed college, but you all know that's outside now. While talking to the boys, it's going to be an indisciplined action like that. We do not talk to them like. So I grown up in like that. So during my PG, I changed everything, so that a network will do some magic in any time. We cannot know which time or which network will make a magic in my life. So I strongly believed in that. So continue networking the friends. Wherever I go, conferences or workshop, wherever I go, I will have their contact and create a WhatsApp group, because each and every person you are meeting in a life, we don't know where the magic going to be happen, and we can also be a magic in their life. So I strongly believed in that. That network makes for magic in our life, and we are also going to be a magic in some other's life. So I used to have contacts wherever I go. So this make my life changes, because whatever the distraction I faced in my life, because of that, I got a positive things in my life due to the network. So with the help of that network, I'm trying to change in my career, because I'm in a teaching profession. So I want to make the changes to the students. So wherever I go, I'm insisting them to have a good network, because anything may happen at any time. So network, I thinking it's a strong, powerful, and successful thing that is in our life. So whom you know, it matters what you know. I strongly believed in that. And another thing I want to highlight, I finish it off, because I'm from a biotech field, so wherever I go, I try to insisting that make the environment green and save the environment. So that is the motto. Wherever I go, I just try to insist on, because due to my teaching. So, and I am passionate towards science. With this session, with a small note, I'm closing. Known is a drop, but unknown is an ocean. So till the end of my life, I want to learn and update things, and with the help of network, I want to be a magic in some other's life. That's it. Thank you.
What an incredible dedication of your farming roots, that you are at the cutting edge of research in biotechnology. Beautiful. Thank you. I'd like to welcome our last speaker for this session, Mr. Mamta says a very nice speaker, so we can't wait. Welcoming Mr. Biju Nair Sudarshan, somebody who is the chairman of a prestigious group of schools, the Vikasa group of schools in Madurai. Welcoming you, Biju.
Good evening, friends. Lovely stories. I've been really encouraged and inspired listening to everyone's stories. The topic today is about network being your net worth. There's an old saying that, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are, right? And that's kind of true, and that is true for all of us. We all know that. So and I've had a lot of things happen in my life, changes in my life, several changes in my life, and all of that I can attribute to the network around me, of family, friends, and professional network. I grew up in India, of course, and finished my engineering and jumped on the ship that left for US in the early 90s. A whole bunch of us left for the software. I was in software engineering. So I went off to San Francisco Bay Area, I was in digital networking area. It's a different kind of a networking area. While working there, a lot of us friends together, we were not happy in the sense, we wanted something more. There were two things that we were sure about. One, we wanted to come back to India, and we wanted to do something on our own. We didn't want to keep working. But that didn't happen overnight, so I ended up changing about 2-3 jobs. All of those changes were not because I wanted a change in my job. All of those changes were because somebody in the network suggested something. Some conversation around what we're doing happened. And those conversations resulted in my changing my jobs. And towards our goal of doing something on our own, starting a business, one thing I realized was, being an introvert engineer, it wasn't easy getting into a business field and doing something on our own unless we studied something, unless we changed something about ourselves. So an MBA degree didn't seem very attractive because that's again more academic, and we wanted to learn something more realistic. And Suzanne, and I must say, I learned a lot getting involved in network marketing. A lot of my learning in life has been because I got involved in network marketing, because I wanted to learn business and wanted to learn how to do something on our own without having to put a whole lot of money down. And that wasn't something we were willing to do. So the entire goal of doing that was to learn something, how to do business on our own, how to be an entrepreneur. And then came a conversation about how to move back to India. And that conversation with my boss ended up coming up with an idea of shifting that entire project back to India. And I managed to convince him to do that, and I moved back to India. And once that project was over, I decided to stay back in India. And one of those evenings after I quit my job, so by the time I was 30, I had quit active employment. I left my job. I was back in India. First goal was achieved, to be back in India. I was kind of semi-retired. But again, we wanted to do something. And that was the time I had my first child. And we were looking for a school to put him in. So the conversations among our friends were about schools. And in one of those birthday parties, a friend of mine said he came up with the idea of taking over the school in Madurai. And that conversation led me to Madurai. And we ended up taking over a school 16 years ago. And we have grown from 1 to about 4 schools now in Madurai. And I'm saying all of this because every change, I've changed several jobs. Every job change has been because of a conversation in my network. I've changed my career from an engineering manager to a business entrepreneur to an educationist now, and now getting into investing in certain companies. All of those changes. So fortunately, I didn't have to change my life partner, and I don't intend to. So all of those changes were results of some conversation in the network, in my network of friends and family. So looking back upon how my net worth, when I say net worth, I don't mean to say net worth of money. I do not believe one's net worth can be measured by a balance sheet of one's finances alone. We need to add in there certain other things. Our feeling of self-worth is also part of our net worth. Another ingredient I feel is very important as part of our net worth, whether it is about our finances or our own feeling of self-worth or self-esteem, etc., is the ideas that we are working on today. The ideas that we are working on today, I believe, ends up being your net worth tomorrow. But because whether it is money or your feeling about yourself today, that can be gone in a minute for whatever reasons beyond your control. But what happens tomorrow is going to determine your net worth tomorrow, and what happens tomorrow is because of the ideas that you're working on today. And those ideas come from conversations in the network. So I feel if I need to change my life, I need to change the ideas that I work on, and the ideas that I work on, because they are results of conversations in my network, I need to change the network or add to the network. And that's, I truly feel the network is your net worth. And thank you, Women's Economic Forum, Mamta, Dr. Arora, and all of you for giving me the opportunity to be here. And I think what I did to deserve this was to find a woman who's capable of doing something that I wanted to be done. I empowered her and got out of her way. And I think that's why Mamta said, you can be here. So, if you are a woman, I would say empower yourself and get out of your own way. When I say get out of your own way, do not let your preconceived ideas about what a woman can do or what a person can do stand in the way of your potential. And if you're a man, I hope you find a woman that you can empower and get the hell out of her way. Because to paraphrase an old proverb, 17th century proverb, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. I would say, heaven hath no force like a woman empowered. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being the grandest ambassador, cheerleader, ringmaster of women worldwide. What a befitting conclusion to this session, Biju. Thank you. Dr. Harbeen Arora, I welcome you on the stage as we honor I call upon Suzanne Skillen as we acknowledge your body of work, your life, and your femininity. S.P. Vardarajan, please accept this honor in acknowledgement of your entrepreneurial journey. Shweta Agarwal, we congratulate you. You're an iconic woman, creating a better world for all. Calling on the impassioned Latina, Merti Brida. Please put your hands together in acknowledgement of this magnificent, an exceptional woman of excellence. Madurai 2020.